What's up, people? Turtle here with another dig from the toy box. Today we have G.I. Joe, Killer Whale Hovercraft, um, with pilot cutter. And this has to be one of the top five G.I. Joe vehicles, and just my personal opinion and collection. Um, it's like the APC on steroids. Um, Although it doesn't hold as many people, it makes up for it in firepower and features. And we'll get into some of that. And it comes with cutter here, which for some reason his B on his hat, he's got a Boston Red Sox cap on, and the B does not want to show up on this camera for whatever reason. And it's actually not bad. It's usually wore off because it's I guess just the paint they used. And there was also some kind of like, I think it was a licensing issue, like they didn't pay to use the same font as the Boston Bees in. But anyway, we'll get Cutter out of here so we can take a look at this guy. And like I never had this as a kid, always wanted it. And there was this one dude that would bring it to school occasionally, and I would just be like, oh man, like I'd just keep a couple of GI Joe dudes in my backpack just in case he brought it. I'd get to play with it a little bit. But yeah, a few years ago, I come across a hole, and it had some of the stuff there, but I mostly fleshed it out over the years. And I have the vein assemblage here. I have everything but one lateral vein to the assemblage there, but it's just so friggin' brittle, and the little posts that it connects to are so brittle. I'm not putting it on there, I just keep it, packed up tight in a baggie and, whatever. But we'll take a look at some of the features here. Um, I guess we'll go to the front first here. Take a look. All right, so in here you've got where you can put all the dudes. I think you can fit like 6 people in here, and some stuff. And it's got the little rampart that folds down. I always liked that. That was just so cool. Storming the beaches of Cobra Island, and so I mean, like I said, it doesn't hold as many people as APC, but it makes up for it. And this button here, you push that, and I'm not going to launch it because I'm not trying to break it. I think it's just gotten incredibly fragile over the years, and I think it's due to the fact that despite this cavity in the front there, and there's a storage cavity on the underside, this thing actually floats. And for its size, it's relatively light, and I guess that's for buoyancy reasons. And it's really brittle though. A lot of these connection points and stuff, you'll go through a lot of broken parts trying to get one together intact. Or at least I did. That was my luck of it. Hopefully you'll do a little bit better if you're doing one. And there's the little recon sled. Now the only thing that's broke on this is I had this thing in storage, and I had it packed in a tote by itself, and it was on the very top so it wouldn't get crushed. Well, lo and behold, the stack of totes, when I went one day, had fallen over, and this thing was just spilled out, and I was like, oh my God. But the only thing that it broke on it is in here where this is stored. And you can see that one white fork. Well, there's supposed to be 2 of them. And that's what ejects this thing when you hit this right there. See if you can see it any better. Yeah, so there's supposed to be 2 where there's 1. And so we're not ejecting anything out of here because it comes out all cattywampus now. Already tried. But anyway, I'll find one to pull apart, and it'll have that in there maybe. Let's lock that in. We'll whip it around to the side here, where you have your depth charge station here. You can just lever that, and they'll begin to roll out. And they float too, but I always thought that was kind of weird because they're depth charges. You set them to a depth, they go to that depth and detonate. But, it's a toy. And this is, as a kid, the best feature there. You got the spinning blades. I've seen a lot of people, it surprised me how many videos there are of people that these fan assemblages are always missing or broken or messed up. Well, they just put like battery powered fans in the back, and have make your own remote control killer whale. I mean, what else are you gonna do with a busted up one if you when you're struggling to find parts and stuff? One of the casters just come off there. All right, let's get this back. Let's get that caster. I have to put that back on after the video is over. Now, as a kid, this little scout bike here. Get this guy out. So this little scout bike here, I always thought this thing was so grossly underscaled. I was like, oh, why didn't they make the bike bigger? But come to find out, it's actually like, paratroopers and stuff would have these little mini bikes basically. And when you land, that's your recon vehicle, is this, ridiculous little mini bike. But, nowadays, I mean, mini bikes are kind of, or they were for a minute, like kind of a craze. And so seeing that, made me think about that. And then, I don't know, looking into it, I'd seen that somewhere that paratroopers use like little mini moped-esque bikes like that. And you got some removable engine panels and these missile batteries. Yeah, the connectors on those. That was probably one of the hardest things to find, is one of these guys that isn't messed up. And yeah, it was probably the last part, I got, looking for a long time. The lateral vein, I'll come across that eventually. But, it is what it is. And it's, like I said, it's one of my personal favorites. And just with design and playability, really ranks up there. So, well, that's it for Turtles Toy Box today. And I'm going to hover myself out of here and see if I can get into something fun. And I advise you to do the same. Until next time, late.